Hi there, welcome back to Still Waters ASMR. Today's video is just a very quick lambing related update. I had really hoped that we were past the lambs in cardboard boxes in my kitchen stage for this year. This pair are the youngest lambs this year. They are 2 weeks old now. So I kind of hoped that with them being 2 weeks old that, everything would be well established and we'd be thriving. I've checked Mommy over and she's got an udder, she's got milk, there's no, problem. She's not in great condition, but she does have milk, but just not a lot of it. So while this pair have been getting milk from Mommy, they've not been getting a lot. So they've not been growing quite as thriving as I would have hoped. And the result is we had some really heavy rain last night and they were just in a bit of a bad way this morning. Really cold and unhappy. And this one here was lying all hunched up, and when I walked up to it, it didn't run away, it didn't move. And normally, these aren't really tame lambs, they're just normal sheep. And so normally if you approach them, they would run away. And then my toddler toddled over to her, plonked herself down on the ground next to the lamb and started petting the lamb and trying to pick the lamb up and hugging it and things. And the lamb just sat there. So it made for some really cute photographs, but I knew right then that the lamb needed some TLC. So I've moved their mother to a little paddock immediately below the house where there's lots of lovely grass coming through, because the rain last night will be helping with the grass growing. But so she's getting a belly full of lovely green grass, and I've brought these little ones in. There's a hot water bottle underneath the smallest one. They're wrapped up cozy and warm, and they've been tube fed, and just as a precaution I've given them a shot of vitamin B and a shot of antibiotic, just because when they get into this, we would never normally, because of antibiotic resistance, we would never normally give antibiotics just because. But because these ones have gotten into such a bad state, they're far more at risk of developing something like pneumonia or something like that. So just to give them their best chance, I've given them a little jab of penicillin. So you just basically give them injections in the loose skin at the base of the neck, or just in the neck here. And what you do, that's grinding its teeth, it's a horrible sound, I hate it when sheep do that, is by checking their mouths, the temperature of their mouth. It's a good indicator of their body. I don't have a rectal thermometer, I really need to get one, but that's a good indicator. So the good news is this little lamb, its mouth was just freezing this morning when I brought it in, whereas they now both have, sorry Sweetie, I know you were sleeping. They've now both got warm mouths. And the good thing of them being twins and bringing them both in together is that they can snuggle together. And so they'll find the whole being inside in the kitchen much less distressing. So, yeah, little darlings. We'll just basically keep an eye on them and They do that little trembling thing. Just sort of checking the temperature in under here. Yeah, it's nice and toasty. Little darlings. So yeah, we're basically just gonna keep an eye on them, and I'm hoping that later today they'll go back to their mum. That is the plan. But I need to get them back on their feet a bit and get them looking a bit better. Because right now they've just been basically just sleeping and recuperating. They've had, I've tube fed them one belly full, and then I will give them some more. Hopefully they'll take it from a bottle and I won't have to keep intubating them, but basically I'll show you what we use for tube feeding. So, over here at the kitchen, this is the tube. It's got a soft end to it, so it's not like a sharp or a hard end, it's a soft end, and then it's got a couple holes on the side. Hole there and a hole there, and you basically just gently feed it into their mouth down the back of the throat, and they actually will like instinctively swallow, and you check to make sure it's not going in the lungs, and then you put the syringe in the end of the tube, and then you can either use the plunger that goes with the syringe and actually force the milk in. I prefer just using a gravity drainage method, so I leave it open and I just pour the milk in the top. That basically, it just means it allows it to sort of fill at its own natural rate. I don't feel comfortable syringing milk into a lamb. I'm paranoid about it like being too much, so I just do that. Let gravity take it down into the stomach. And there's a couple ways of checking to make sure that it's in the stomach in the first place. If they already have something in their stomach, there's a good chance a little bit of it might come up the tube, and so you can see that it's in the stomach. Or you can listen at the end of the tube, and if it's just a gurgling sound, it's in the stomach, whereas if you actually can hear them breathing, it's gone in the lungs, and so you want to take it out and reinsert it. But they'll normally like cough and splutter if you've put it into the lungs. So Mummy is out there just behind the boat. She's gone in behind the boat. She's getting some nice green grass. It's coming fairly green out there now. See, there she is. I wonder if she's noticed that her lambs are missing. She's just loving getting that good green grass though. She's the sheep that caused me the most stress and sleepless nights this year. She was the last ewe to lamb, and several weeks before she lambed, she had a small prolapse. Just a small vaginal prolapse, so just a little bit of was coming out, and it was coming out and popping back in again of its own accord, but I fitted a prolapse spoon. And she did really well for the next few weeks, and then I was dreading her lambing. In the end, she lambed totally fine. She when we saw her going into labour, we removed the prolapse spoon. The first one she lambed herself, the second one we gave her a bit of a helping hand, and just because we didn't want her straining too much. And then she, didn't have any more further prolapse issues. She's doing fine. So that kind of is a relief. But she really stressed me out at the time. I've been learning lots this year. I was dealing with prolapses for the first time and dealing with tube feeding lambs for the first time, and now I'm like totally chill out about it and giving injections and all the rest of it. It's kind of like, yeah, no bother. So it's amazing the things that you get used to. So these little girls. And of course they're girls, so we want extra incentive to bring them out because, well, at the end of the day, they make us more money. We'll keep these over the winter and sell them either in the springtime or next fall. And yeah. Pretty toots. So yeah, little darlings. So the kitchen smells like wet sheep right now. Quite a similar smell to wet dog. But yeah, that's all I had to say for today. It was just showing you the little lambs. I thought we were done with this, but well, I say I'm showing you the little lambs. You're only really seeing like the backs of their head. But I mean, if I risk disturbing them and oh, look at that little stretch. Oh, sweet pea. This is the one that's doing the best. This little one here is the one that's struggling the most. Look at that little cute little face though. Oh, it's just so cute. But I mean, they're just tiny little toots. I mean, look at that, just a tiny little toot. Just a tiny little toot. Right, let's just tuck them back in again. There you go. There's a hot water bottle like in under here. It does still have some warmth in it. This little one's lying on because it's the coldest and the smallest. Little darlings. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave them be and I'll go try and get on with some work. But you guys take care and I hope you're doing well. Bye bye. Hi there. It's a few hours later, and as you can see, we're down to one lamb because the largest of the two that was sitting over on this side, she was up on her feet and looking really good and bang for her mommy. So, and their mother had kind of realised that she was missing her lambs, and so she's back out with her mother. It's the best place for her to be. This little one just needs a little bit more TLC. This is the one that my daughter was able to hug and love all over and didn't like run away. So this is the one that was in, I think if I hadn't found her when I did, this little one I don't think would have made it. So I'm glad I found it when I did. And so she's going to get a bit more TLC. The good news is that I offered her a bottle, so they both got tube fed, and her sister wasn't interested in the bottle, but when she got back out to her mother, she was straight in and under to get a drink from her mother. This little one, I offered it a bottle, and after a while of it like chewing on the teat, it finally like latched on and started sucking and downed about 250 ml in one go. So that's a really promising sign. That's a really, really good sign. So I'm gonna let it sleep and like process. It's had a poop as well, so I'm gonna let it sleep and process the milk it's had, and I would like to give it one more feed at least before putting it back to its mum. And I think I'm gonna be giving this one top up feeds. There's another lamb that we have that we're doing top up feeds. So it's, I'm basically giving it 2 bottles a day. So I think this little one may well end up needing the same thing. Because yeah, she's not doing great, or not doing as well as I would have liked. So we will see how it goes. But right now she's just sleeping. And as you can see, I've taken the towels away from on top. Because I don't want her being too hot, because she's going to go outside, and I don't want it being too much of a shock to the system, going from like being cozy warm to being outside. I've just let the hot water bottle that's in there, it's just cooling down naturally. Oh, have a little readjust. Little pudding. So we're just going to let her sleep, and she'll hopefully be back with her mommy in, later on today. So thought I'd give you a little update. Take care.